Level 1. The curious kid. You are 6 years old when you see something on a screen that doesn't look human. It isn't a gymnast or a sprinter. It is a man with shoulders like boulders and a waist that seems impossible, looking like a superhero made of living granite. While other kids forget by Tuesday, you don't forget. You ask for your first set of weights, and eventually, your mother drives you to a local gym that smells like old iron, chalk, and sweat. A coach looks down at you, unimpressed by your small frame. But the moment you pick up a dumbbell, you feel like you've finally come home. You don't have the words for it yet, but you will spend the next 20 years chasing that feeling. Level 2. The local prodigy. You are now a teenager, and you move differently than your peers. People in your small-town gym start using words like talent, natural, and freak. You begin missing Friday night football games and parties because you have a 5 a.m. lifting session and a strict meal plan. You win your first local teen trophy, and although it is cheap plastic, you hold it on the drive home like it is made of solid gold. This is when the obsession truly begins. Your parents start budgeting for your massive grocery bills and gym fees, sacrificing their own needs for your potential. Level 3. The regional contender. At 18, your body is changing in ways your classmates don't understand. Your shoulders are wider, your legs are denser, and your hands are permanently calloused. You are constantly hungry and constantly tired. But you learn that pain is simply information, not an emergency. You travel to a regional development camp and, for the first time, realize you are not the best in the room. You go back to your hotel and cry into your pillow. But the next morning, you are in the gym 30 minutes before anyone else. You realize that to reach the top, your social life must become entirely athletic. The people you used to know are now strangers. Level 4. The national prospect. You are 20, and the pro card is finally within reach. You relocate to a mecca of bodybuilding, where nothing else exists but the sport. Your life is optimized like a machine. A dietitian weighs every gram of your tilapia and asparagus, and you undergo constant blood tests and body composition scans. You become a sport that happens to have a person attached to it, and the line between human and athlete gets blurry. You miss your sister's graduation and your father's 50th birthday because prep demands your total isolation. You eat the same 6 meals in the same cafeteria 21 times a week for 9 months a year. Level 5. The breakthrough. You compete at a national level pro qualifier and finally win your pro card. The breakthrough isn't just the trophy. It's the moment you realize you belong in the arena with the elite. You walk into the gym differently now, and the veteran pros finally include you in their conversations. You've crossed a line, and there is no going back. Level 6. The professional. You are 22, and you represent something larger than yourself. You receive your professional jacket, and strangers in airports start asking for photos because you look like a walking statue. However, you don't feel like a hero. You feel very, very tired. The pressure shifts because every loss is now analyzed by sponsors who control your funding. Your body starts to face real breakdown, and some nights you wake up convinced your career is over. You sign your first small supplement deal and buy your parents a new dishwasher. For 3 days, the sacrifice feels worth it. Level 7. The Olympia Qualifier. The Mr. Olympia Classic Physique stage is 18 months away. Everything in your life, your sleep, your relationships, and your internal health, is organized around one date on a calendar. You break up with your partner because you don't have time to feel anything else, besides the hunger and the drive. You qualify for the Olympia by the narrowest of margins, and the realization of how close you came to failure terrifies you. You promise yourself you will never take another shortcut again. Level 8. The Olympian. You arrive at the host hotel in Las Vegas. You are surrounded by the 1% of the 1%. You see the icons you watched on YouTube walking past you in flip-flops. They are humans. Now, not posters. You spend the final peak week in a fog of nerves, trying to sleep while your body is depleted of every ounce of water. On the day of competition, you walk into the warm-up area and hear the crowd through the walls. You think about the 6-year-old at the television, and you do this for them. You walk out into the blinding lights, and the crowd becomes a single living organism with a million eyes. Level 9. The champion. The world narrows down to a small, bright space. You execute the mandatory poses and the vacuum you have rehearsed 100,000 times. You don't think, because thinking would ruin the flow. There is a pause that feels like hours before your name is called as the winner. Your knees buckle as they hand you the trophy. It is heavier than you expected. You find your family in the crowd, and you will never forget the look on their faces. You are 25 years old, and you have become the dream you had at 6. Level 10. The icon. Eventually, you retire, and the first year is the hardest of your life. You don't know who you are if you aren't an athlete. Your phone stops ringing as much, and the world moves on to younger, hungrier freaks. You find peace by opening a small gym and coaching kids who remind you of yourself at 6. You watch them point at the screen, and you know exactly what it will cost them. You don't tell them. They have to learn the price of the gold themselves.